So for me, Minecraft Live is about 3 days from now. And we still don't know what they're gonna announce. They're probably gonna announce the new drop. And so, you'd imagine I have something to say about it, but I don't really have much to say about it. I'm hoping it's good, but I genuinely don't know. You guys already do know what's gonna be revealed and whatnot. I have no idea. I don't fucking know. Part of the entertainment? Yes, it is. But regardless of all that, we're not here today for that. I want to talk about an update that they may have already announced. They may have not. If they did announce it, wait a few days. There's going to be another video in the channel where I'm freaking out about it. But I think it's important to talk about the end update. Because like of all the things that players want out of Minecraft, I think flying arrow. I think the end update is like one of those things that all the time gets mentioned. And like I super get it. Hold on, let me find myself before we are gonna walk in a straight line for a bit, so you know, yeah, let's go. Like that. Hold on. No, this is going too fast. There we go. Alright. Look, I think the Nadir update is kind of essential for Minecraft. I think if they ever want to make a good update, they're gonna have to do that end update. And I understand that the reason they haven't done that is because they've been working on like background things. They've been making absolute sure that whatever they have is good to work with. They want to make, creating dimensions easy. They want to make adding content to the game easy. And that's a lot of what's been happening with the drop system. Sure, on the front face, we are getting a ton of new things through drops, but on the backside, they're changing so much about the game, the render engine, the way they do things, the way it's, how easy it is to create a dimension. It's all clearly stuff that they're doing to make it easier to develop the game. They want developing Minecraft to not be like annoying in a way. And so, like, I completely understand why the developers have been doing certain things or others. Um, it's like you do understand that the reason they're not making the things is a lot because they probably want to have the environment to work properly with it. In Caves and Cliffs, they had the whole problem with now you have to revamp generation and you have to do it now, and it's like, ooh, what they supposed to do? Is like they really had a tall order, and well, it probably was a bit of an annoying crunch to work on Caves and Cliffs, hence why they divided it into 2 or 3 parts. It's like they clearly needed better groundwork to continue working on stuff, but now if you ask me, I think they should be working on a big update, and in this case it has to be the end update. A lot of the things in the game lack content. But, it's like, sure, you could talk about the dimension that they apparently will seem to try to add into the caves and the whole. What's the name of the places? The ancient cities. Ancient cities are a good place to put players and structures and whatnot. They're like a great thing. So it's just kind of surprising that. Hold on. Oh, awesome. Just the commands. I mean, they should work, right? I scouted this, so there we go. It's just incredibly awkward that they haven't done an end update, because you go to the end, there's no content in there. It's so boring, and it's one of the like areas of opportunity that's like most obvious with Minecraft in the current moment. Um one does have to wonder what they intended to do with, you know, the dimension stuff and whatnot. But even if it would be really nice to have a new dimension with new mechanics and whatnot, I think first and foremost comes the like updating the end dimension to not be a barren wasteland that's kind of stupid and ugly and annoying. Let me show you where we were going all along. A tiny little desert. Just kidding. Huge desert up here. Look at that. Lots of sand for us to grab. Lots of things. The nearest desert to my house is about 1,000 blocks away. But instead of traveling 100 blocks, I want to have this here because this is a place that I'm never going to visit outside of resource gathering. So yeah, this is going to be my little mining desert. I didn't scout it too much. This is the closest further away mining desert that I found. But over there should be a lot of sand, right? Nope. That's just acacia. Whoops. Oh well. There's still a lot of sand here for us to get. Maybe not the biggest desert, but good enough. As I was saying, the end update is gonna be a very tall order for Mojang to work on. And I don't think they're working on it anytime soon. Right? I don't think that they're gonna announce it in the Minecraft Live that's gonna happen in a few days. And I think you guys are able to tell I'm right. Because you guys are probably from the future or something. You probably have already got the drop they announced on the Minecraft Live. But regardless, it's like, I guess I'm here mostly to just talk about what I'd like to see in that update. I know it's gonna be a tall order, I know it's gonna take a while, but what kind of stuff could they actually add to that update? Sure, they could add the, like, what we all want, right? More biomes, more blocks, more shit in the end, maybe a mob. There's many ways to do it, and I don't think there's like, you know, one thing they have to do. They can do it a bunch of different ways and it will still work out. So in a way, I kind of understand it, right? Um but then I don't know, is there anything really substantial that they could add? Because it's incredibly easy to think that there is a lot of stuff of substantiability to add because you've heard content creators talk about it, but it's like, what kind of stuff would actually improve Minecraft through being added in the end update? Why are we not talking about other updates and whatnot? And if you ask me, Minecraft needs a lot of things that are kind of super obvious, and I feel like that quality of life is like not going to be provided to us through the end update. But at the same time, I think the reason the end update is such a coveted like thing is not because of what it could add to the game. It's just simply because of that feel of the game being completed rather than unfinished. The end feels unfinished. It doesn't feel quite right, and I think that's the reason why it's one of the most requested features. Because a lot of the times when you ask people who are a little bit more veteran when it comes to Minecraft, you'll realize they will point out that their opinion on the end is not the same, right? When you ask them what they should add to Minecraft, they will mention inventory update and they will mention end update because that's what everybody wants, and of course they want it as well. But a lot of players want more specific things. For example, one of the things I feel like Minecraft should have is a way to build something in your survival world without using any resources, but without actually building it. So, kind of the way Lightmatica does it. Lightmatica is this mod that kind of puts a ghost in the world. It's like, of course, I think adding a sort of Lightmatica that adds a ghost of a build into your world and you can build it up from there, I think that would be insane because it would help a lot with like massive builds. Of course, tiny builds are hurt from that kind of mechanic the same way, the whole resource gathering and diamonds were hurt by the addition of mending. But at the same time, it makes the life of players so much easier and so much better that I don't think it's a bad addition. And of course, the end update does not have the opportunity to add anything like that. The end update is gonna be a very standard update that's gonna add a bunch of blocks and features that are expected of a dimension. So there we are sitting thinking like, sure, the end update is something we all want. It's all I think, like, I think everyone can agree that the end update is kind of necessary. But considering what it could add to the game, it's not actually as profound as we make it sound. And I guess that's kind of my big takeaway of the whole end update discussion thing is like, I do want the end update, but I don't think the end update is gonna fix the game or do anything like that. It's just gonna fix the end as a dimension, which is a dimension that very much needs it, right? The drop system does not support the creation of new dimensions, and I'm kind of hoping they eventually do, right? I'm kind of hoping they eventually square up and actually give us the end update. I don't know what the next drop's gonna be. You're in the future. You're in the future, so I think it would be rather funny for me to point out, like, since I don't know what they're adding to the game, I could give a guess to close this video out. Um, so yeah, TLDR, I do want the end update. I just don't think it's the best update that Minecraft could have right now. However, it is the most requested update, and I think that's why it should be made before anything that's big. And I'm hoping Mojang gets on that. One thing that does kind of disappoint me about this whole discussion is that if Mojang truly is working towards making it easier to add stuff into the game, they haven't really touched AI stuff much when it comes to like mobs. So I'm kind of like worried that they will not try to add new bosses or whatnot. It seems like all their changes are to add new blocks and creative stuff to the game rather than challenges such as bosses. They added the trail chambers, which sure they added some challenges and whatnot, but they're not real challenges like a boss. Like they're not a withered, which keeps on healing, at least in Java Edition, forever, and it's kind of impossible to hit and kill unless you're not properly prepared for them. So it's just that kind of stuff bothers me. But yeah, the LDR, not the most important update, but I think an update that should happen sooner rather than later, even if the tools aren't already there, because the things that actually matter are gonna take more complicated tools, more time, more stuff. It would be very nice for Mojang to start working on adding those things in the near future. So what's the next drop gonna be? According to the Nather, aka me, I'm the Nather in case you don't know. Nather, I sound like a dimension calling me the Nather. Whatever. I think the next thing they will add is okay. I need to think about it more. I'm not really all here to think about it. What could they add next to Minecraft? Um, what's the next drop gonna be? I don't think it's gonna be the end update, but if it's the end update, yippee yippee hooray! I don't think I would call that a prediction of mine. I think the next update will add a new biome. I haven't actually thought about it because all along, whenever I try to predict drops, I always go like, "Oh, they're gonna add something cute," and I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to add something cute every drop, but they always do like a specific drop to be cute. And this year they started with that one, which is the babies update, which is supposed to be the cute update. So I'm thinking they're gonna add like, two drops this year that are gonna be, one based on exploration, one based on like a challenge in game, and one based on improving player quality of life through really extensive methods. So I definitely feel like one of the drops we're gonna get this year is gonna be the crab drop, or maybe some sort of beach. Maybe they do the desert update and along with that add the crab, because they're definitely gonna add the crab on a recent time. You know how they added the copper golem mostly because they wanted to help players with their storage sorting issues. It's like, well, they're clearly now gonna do next helping with the whole building issue by actually adding something that can help us build. I do wonder how they'll add the crab, because I don't think they'll just add it the same way it was like pointed out in the mothballed when they announced they were gonna add the crab. Well, they could add the crab, I guess. So it's like I'm wondering what changes they will make, because they changed the copper golem to help the community, and I feel like they're gonna do something similar here. Kind of intrigued. It is possible that the next thing we get for the update is the desert update they promised a long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo. So you know what? My bet's between those two. If I predict it, good. If I don't, oops. But yeah, my two predictions are crab update or not crab update. Yeah, crab update and desert update with the cool deserts that are more than just adding funny flowers to the desert things. I do wonder if they're gonna do an aesthetic update, so I guess that could still happen, but I think they're gonna do the aesthetic update third. So that's my thoughts on it. It's gonna be the crab update, then it's gonna be another visual update that's gonna help quality of life stuff. Hopefully they add fucking glass iron frames. I don't know why they are not in the game currently. It's literally the easiest thing to add in the world. I don't know what they're doing. Somebody help Mojang in their brain. And the final one that I think they're adding is gonna be that. Do you think I guessed it correctly, or do you think I didn't? Because we'll find out.